First of all,
This
we are
meeting is being
recording this.
recorded.
And so just so you know that there's some people who can't be here tonight, and we're recording this so that they can watch it afterwards. The second thing I'd love for you to do is just mute yourselves, because we've all got background noises that sometimes, creep in. And so put yourself on mute and we'll be able to hear everybody really well moving forward. The other thing is a good suggestion is to put yourself in speaker view. So up at the top of your screen, you'll see this little thing that says view. And if you have yourself in speaker view, the main speaker is going to make themselves real big on your screen. And so that will be really helpful too as we're moving forward tonight. So also another great feature in Zoom, if you'd like to turn your captions on, if that's easier for you to follow along, on the toolbar on your screen, you'll be able to see that you can do that through the live transcript button on your toolbar. So you can click that, and it will be enabled, and you can follow along that way. And lastly, we're going to be putting some things into the chat during our program tonight too. And so you'll see the links to donate and other things pop up. And we want to encourage you to use the chat as well. If you want to pop in and share your enthusiasm for the things that you're seeing tonight, please feel free to use the chat. So once again, thanks for being here. Grab what you need and get settled. And we're going to enjoy some music. A music video from a few longtime supporters of Metro Blooms.
My name is Mary Martini. I live in Minneapolis and am president of the Friends of Diamond Lake. In 2010, we partnered with Metro Blooms and a number of other organizations in a project that implemented projects in the Diamond Lake watershed to reduce stormwater runoff and improve water quality. Major funding came from an inaugural Clean Water Legacy Amendment grant. Metro Blooms was instrumental in the project's success. Their staff provided property owners invaluable technical expertise to turn aspirations of holding stormwater on their land into beautiful reality. It's the magic of rain gardens. My favorite thing about Metro Blooms is their gift of partnering with others to make these water quality dreams come true. A number of years ago, Mark Petalty, another passionate supporter of Metro Blooms, was looking for a place to film a music video about the difference we can make for our environment, starting in our own yards. His group, the Hypoxic Punks, and a few local soloists, Jayanthe, Rosie, and Robin, came to my husband's and my rain garden to inspire others to create change. As you settle in, please enjoy their song, You Can Build a Garden.
One, two, three.
All the rain runs down the shingles and the downspouts, over sidewalks and driveways and roads,
On down the gutter, into the storm drain, to the rivers and the lakes and seas it goes. With the fertilizer and the gasoline, with pesticides and herbicides and all the things in between.
heavy metals,
In the motor oil, tons of salt and sand and plenty of good topsoil.
What can you do? What can you do? You can build a garden. 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 To catch the rain. To catch the rain. To keep the dirt. To keep the dirt. And keep the tides. And all the toxins from the rivers. And the food chain.
You just dig a bit of a small depression where the driveway and roof shed the rain.
add native plants, cornflowers and grasses, so the roots take up the water as it drains.
To keep the algae from a big old bloom that sucks the oxygen from the water, turns a lake into a fish's tomb.
Keep the mercury
Out of
cannot help but dance when that video comes on. And I had my 2-year-old listen to it, and we listened to it over and over and over. She just loves it. So what a great song, and what a great welcome to this event tonight. We hope you enjoyed the music offering to start our evening, and you may have seen a few familiar faces in that video, including the Metro Bloom's Executive Director, Laura Scholl. And you may have known Laura through her other roles that she's played at Metro Bloom's over the 10 years that she has been with the organization. But the board and staff could not be more thrilled that Laura is now the executive director of the organization. And so, Laura, I'll pass it to you for a welcome.
Well, yeah, that was one of the very first things I ever got to do with Metro Blooms, was be in that video. So it was a long time ago, and it's cool to have seen the growth of our organization over that time. It's really great to see you all here tonight. Thank you for coming. A very special thank you to our co-hosts for inviting your friends and family to join you. As Steph said, I'm Laura Scholl, and I am honored to be the executive director of Metro Blooms and the president of Metro Blooms Design and Build. So our theme here tonight is healing roots. That's the theme of our event. And for us, that is all about taking hold of your own narrative, your story, to find healing and maybe to create change. A lot of our work at Metro Blooms is about healing and restoration. We partner with communities to heal our environment, our waterways, our ecosystems, and sometimes to heal from injustice. We began as a small garden awards program years ago, designed to promote gardening and reduce crime by encouraging people to garden in their boulevards. You'll hear later this evening how we've come full circle back to some of that original goal. And later we became Metro Blooms and really started focusing on environmental stewardship. But along that whole way, community has really been at the center of our work. And we've been honored to partner with thousands of residents over the past 40 years to build awareness and really create a movement towards more resilient landscapes. And for us, working with community has also meant being responsive to community needs. And in pursuing our mission, there came a time where we recognized we weren't meeting the needs of all of our communities, particularly low-income renters and communities of color. So we made some changes. We've been expanding our workshops and exploring project-based opportunities where folks can learn alongside their neighbors. We are working with residents in affordable housing communities like Riverside Plaza, where immigrant tenants have co-created a space where, in their words, they can reflect and heal from years of trauma. We're hiring and training residents and youth to work within their communities, and our board recently made a commitment to expand membership through community partnership. And rest assured, we continue to prioritize clean water and pollinator habitat through all of this work. Last year alone, our projects captured 3.5 million gallons of runoff to be filtered and cleaned naturally by our soil to be used by native plants, rather than picking up pollution and running polluted into our waterways. And through our Blue Thumb program, we're working with the state Lawns to Legumes program to save endangered pollinators like the rusty patch bumblebee and the monarch butterfly. And so far, over 28 acres of habitat and over 1,600 native trees and shrubs have been planted by residents like you as part of that program. We're making a really big impact, and we don't do any of that alone. I've spoken before to the bold, brave action that we need to tackle our environmental challenges. And sometimes it can be hard to imagine how we start. We all take these individual actions that can feel small on their own, but they grow. And you'll hear tonight how one of those interactions has rippled across our communities to create a deep impact that regenerates our land and our wildlife and our relationships. And this is really where healing begins. Healing from environmental degradation and injustices that impact us all, but really target our low income and communities of color. Our actions make a difference. They create change. Every time you plant a garden, every time you talk to a neighbor, every time you come to an online fundraiser to support your passion, you are making that difference. And together we make an enormous difference. So I hope you enjoy the program tonight as you hear about the ripple effects of your support.
Thank you so much, Laura. And we've pulled together a short video so that you can see what this work looks like as we pursue our mission.
Metro Blooms partners with communities to create resilient landscapes and foster clean watersheds, embracing the values of equity and inclusion to solve environmental challenges.
What a fun snapshot of our work, right? It just really highlights the breadth and depth of what this organization does. And we talk a lot about our most impactful work happening in partnership with community. So this next section of our program, we're going to showcase some of those partnerships. We hope that they're inspiring examples of the change that we can make together. And the first that we're going to hear about, we're going to hear from Aaron and Michelle, who are residents at Brook Gardens, who have been partnering with us for the last few years.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I live at Brook Gardens. I've lived here for 14 years and I'm a stewardess with Metro Bloom. It's been so amazing. It's a affordable housing community with a lot of single mothers and children. And so we all want to do more in the community, but we don't have the resources to do it. So to have Metro Bloom come in and be there and partner with all of us to be able to make a change to our community and bring that to us and teach us at the same time. So now we know that the beetles pollinate more than the bees and that they're not just pesky bugs bothering us, that they're here to help us and to pollinate and bring these beautiful flowers to us and this beautiful environment to us. And for the kids to learn about nature play and to have the nature play in the teepees and to be able to watch them put their picnic tables in the teepees and have lunch together next to the flower gardens and be able to really enjoy it. It's brought us such a joy to our community, a sense of joy to our community and pride to our community. And the kids also, like, we learn together and they feel joy. They know that they're part of that and they're the reason why that's there. So we have a little short video that we've put together to show you what we've done at Brook Gardens.
One moment.
You know,
Laura, oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say, can I jump in?
Yeah.
The video that we're about to see, can I tell folks that it's also a video about an award-winning project? So the video that you're going to see about Brook's Garden, and Michelle did such a wonderful job talking about it. And it's exciting because that project won the local Sustainability Impact Award from environmental initiatives this year, and that's very exciting. So I just thought I'd jump in with that while John gave me an opening as he's getting the video going.
Thanks so much, Beth.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're good to go.
All right, John, hit it.
I think if you grow up in the concrete jungle, you don't understand about trees and nature and bees and bugs and butterflies and what they do for your food and your environment.
Our corporation built Brook Gardens in '78. It has 3 apartment buildings and 24 townhomes, and there's this large center courtyard in the middle. There was erosion, and it was half of the field or half of the courtyard was just an open field, and the other half was like a swing set and a slide. I bought out my investor and needed to do a complete rehab on the project and met with the city of Brooklyn Park. They recommended we contact Metro Blooms to enhance the landscaping and enhance the outdoor livability for our residents.
What I enjoyed with Metro Blooms is that they were more than willing to listen to the residents here with what our needs are and what we want for our community. I really enjoyed having input on what we were doing, where the gardens were going. I think that was really helpful that we could be a part of the planning process.
We have pollinator flowers and plants. We have a wooden bridge that goes over from different flower beds. All the plantings are marked so the kids can learn what the plants are. It also has stepping stones made out of tree stumps so the kids can play, which actually came from a tree from the site that had ash borer disease.
This is a rain garden area and a nature play area. So as you can see, the kids love it. And for a kid to be able to come over and pull off bark and not get in trouble for it, everything that we want to do that we can't do normally, they can do here, and they get to experiment with different things with nature, and they get to jump around. There's plenty of seating and playing area for them, and teepees that they love running through and chasing each other through. And it's really brought the kids out and made the kids want to know more and want to know what type of insects these plants bring. It brings me joy to come out here and see the flowers and the plants and the area and see the kids enjoying the area. And at nighttime, even being able to have some peace and come and enjoy the area. And I think it's making everybody else want to do more because they see that we all care and it takes us all.
Oh, so awesome. Yeah, what a great example of this work. And thank you to Michelle for being with us tonight to give us that introduction to that awesome project. And so now what's also very cool, so Michelle is actually in the office. She's at the Metro Bloom's office. She's in the conference room, which is so cool. And now we're actually going to switch to the front of the office. Laura has joined our environmental advocates who are sitting in the front. And so if you haven't been to the office, you're getting kind of a tour right now. And we encourage you to come to the office and come and see it. So Laura, I think you're with our advocates. Is that right?
Yes, can y'all hear us?
A little bit, yeah. You sound good.
All right, I got a microphone, so hopefully you can hear us pretty good. So yes, I am here at the front of our office with our environmental and social justice advocates, Layla, Yurga, and Michaela. Jaden is our fourth advocate, and she is joining us from Alabama. She just started school there. Not sure if she is logged on yet, but we will get her up on the screen as soon as she is able to be here. There she is. Hey, Jane.
Hey.
So these four have been working with community mentors from North Minneapolis for the past few years, and we've been really privileged to be learning alongside them for the last 9 months in their role as advocates for Metro Blooms. So let's start with some introductions. Do you want to start us off, Jane?
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Jaden Ellington Vassar. I'm a freshman right now at Alabama A&M. My journey with environmental justice started about 4 years ago when I met my mentor, Analia, and she started talking to me and opened me up to the world of environmental justice and social justice and how it affects Black communities and communities of color. So I started getting into it and I started loving every aspect of it, and I ended up here.
Hi, my name is Lil Bacon. I'm 18. I'm a freshman at MCTC. I started with Metro Blooms a year ago doing a research project about redlining racism, and now I'm an EJSJ advocate. I started doing environmental justice about 4 years ago when I started in a group called Youth Empower, and I met Analia. And it's just a group, and I learned about community organizing and social justice and environmental justice, and then that was just something that stuck with me throughout high school, and I'm still doing it now as I just started college.
My name is Yurga Remnick. I'm 17, and I'm going into my senior year of high school at Hopkins. I started environmental justice with my mentor Erica. We did a garden 3 years ago. My first garden with an elder named Miss Shalin. 2 summers ago, I was working with Growing North, planting and tending to gardens and community gardens in North Minneapolis. And then most recently, before my position at Metro Blooms, I did a sustainable land care training with Blue Thumb, and now I'm here.
Hi, my name is Michaela Freeman. I'm 18 and I'm also a freshman at NCTC. And I also met Analia 4 years ago. We the three of us had the same start in this movement. I joined Youth in Power, and Analia taught us about how environmental justice affects myself, my family, and my community the most. And being able to be in this movement and to speak on and try to change our environment in any way is really important to me. And my mentor Erica as well introduced me to Metro Blooms, and that's why I'm here today.
Thank you all for introducing yourselves. Michaela, you spoke a little bit to environmental justice in your life, and I guess my question is, how have you been impacted by environmental change and environmental justice?
Yeah, so I lived in North Minneapolis for over 10 years, and before that I lived in Crystal, which is a suburb. And after living in North Minneapolis for the past 10 years, I've really seen a change in my breathing and my respiratory health. It's greatly decreased over the years. I have to have an inhaler or water with me at all times, and I can't be as active as I would like to. And I feel part of that is the pollution that Minneapolis or North Minneapolis has. We have the highest asthma rates out of the whole state. And in downtown Minneapolis, there's the HERC, it's a trash incinerator, and all the pollutants go straight over North Minneapolis, and they affect me. And I mean, my breathing has drastically changed because of it. So yeah, that's something I face every day.
Also, like Michaela, I've lived in North Minneapolis my entire life, so all of my life. And especially when I started getting into the movement, I started doing a lot of tree plantings and a lot of growing my own food. And going in different parts of North Minneapolis, you really see how bad the soil quality is in a lot of places. We planted some trees on Penn Avenue, and the soil was sand, able to be grown things in. And we also have a food desert in North Minneapolis and a lot of BIPOC communities. So not having the right soil equals not having the access and opportunity to plant your own garden and grow your own food.
Thank you both. So as you've been experiencing these things personally, that's obviously influenced a desire to create change. Y'all are trying to do that. How have you been able to impact your community while you've been working with Metro Blooms? How has this role been different from other roles you've had?
Well, with working with Metro Blooms, it really gave me a new perspective on actually putting my hands in the soil and gardening with my community. If you would have asked me last year or even a year and a half ago if I would have been down and with my community in the soil, I probably would have said no. But being with Metro Blooms opened my eyes and brought me to a whole new scenery where I'm planting, but I'm also teaching and learning and showing my community how to be within their community. Your hands are in the dirt and you're learning and you're teaching your kids and your families. And it just brought me a whole new perspective of the way of thinking.
For me, even if it's a very small amount, it's nice knowing that I made a positive impact on the environment in North Minneapolis and the community. A few weeks ago, I was planting a boulevard at an event, and I was teaching kids how to plant for their first time. And up until then, all I've been doing is learning. So this was the first time I've taught someone. So it's like a full circle, like special moment for me.
I would say me being outside, me being around my neighborhood, planting gardens, and in the community, showing kids like how to do things like planting trees and planting gardens is really nice. We do this thing at North Commons every Saturday where we water trees. It's usually just me, Jaden, Yurga, and Michaela, but this time we incorporated the kids and we do a water relay. But like the buckets are one big 5 gallon buckets, so we have to help the kids run the buckets to the trees, and we're just running back and forth and filling up the buckets. It's really like made me happy because some of these kids didn't have these opportunities, or they don't know how to grow their own food. They don't know how to plant trees, and it's really fun showing them how to do these things.
Yeah, so I feel like it's really important to teach our youth, especially in North Minneapolis, as everyone was saying. And the water relays are so fun. We always like help them hold the buckets, like one each or like one hand each. But I feel like this job has given a really big impact for me because one time me, Layla, and Jaden were door knocking. It was like March, so it's still really cold out. And you know, we're very adamant on like not going into strangers' houses, but we met this lady and she was so inviting. She was like, come on in, and like just walk like in the entryway. So we walked in. We probably shouldn't have, but we walked in, like our mentor Eric was like, where'd they go? But we had such a great conversation. She like does scholarship programs at a college and like told us that if you like do certain programs like this, your tuition is like $1,000 a month. And I didn't really know there were things like that out there that were like so cheap really for college courses. So it opened my eyes and I decided to start applying to schools, and I just started college on Monday. So just having that conversation like completely changed my path, and if I wasn't working at Metro Blooms, I never would have had that. I have to tell y'all what an awesome journey it's been with everybody. Like I showed up to a boulevard project planting a few weeks ago, and I didn't do a thing. Like they were all there, they led the program, they talked about the benefits, the pollinators, the clean water, all of it. And it was so cool for me to like see everybody at that point where you're really like taking ownership of all of this. And I mean, it's like, I didn't even have to be there. It was awesome. So one way we know our work can be impactful is like when we start to see like those shifts in social norms in our communities and narratives around environmental healing and justice. So I'm curious to hear from you guys, like when young people are more involved in designing community-based solutions, like where do you start to see that shift? Do you see that shift?
I'm starting to see that shift, like starting this job 4 years ago, and I'm just now seeing it now because we're all out there, and when we're out planting trees and planting gardens with like families and kids, they're always wondering, how did we get into this? And just trying to figure out how to get their kids started into it, even though they're little kids. And some of these families, like the moms and dads, are like, they wish they had this growing up. And honestly, everybody should have this growing up, because I think if I started this because I was friends with Michaela. We've been friends for 10 years. I think if I never met her in elementary school, I wouldn't be doing this right now. So that's seeing the shift and seeing more young people like me out there doing great things is very nice.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry. So I think it's like really important to see, like a lot of the times, or like in like old narratives, like young people don't hold power. So I feel like us changing that narrative and completely shifting it as youth are holding the power these days, because a lot of like the things that have happened and impacted our earth negatively, like we're all still young and this started a long time ago. We didn't necessarily create a lot of these issues, but it's been put kind of on our backs to like reverse this or try to change it as much as we can, because we still have many more years to come. And I feel like for us to change that and to be the power that we see in the world is very important. And just creating like long-standing relationships, I feel like is like the main step or the biggest thing to change everything in like a better direction and like creating better community and like relationships.
All right, last question. What are your future plans? What are you doing now?
My future plans are hopefully being a graduate of college. Studying right now business, and I plan on transferring to TSU and studying social media and marketing. So hopefully I'll be doing something in that realm, and I hope to, when I get older, to have a community center over North. Not a plain community center like North Commons, but like something to help the kids in the neighborhood have something to do. Maybe a place to stay for the ones who don't have a place to stay. Just giving kids something fun other than being out in the streets doing stuff that they probably shouldn't be doing.
I plan on continuing to work in the community and help you. And I also plan on going to college, going to school for engineering, and I've highly considered studying environmental engineering.
I also want to be a college graduate. Right now I'm studying communications, and I want to use that degree to continue what I'm doing now, but having more of a broader understanding of how I can get information across and, you know, continuing the work I'm doing and keep holding these passions and hopefully like planting the seed of everything that's been planted into my mind, into other youth, and to be a mentor like the mentors I have today.
How about you, Jade?
And then my plan is to finish college. I'm right now an environmental science major, and my biggest is to go into 5 communities around like the country, not just focus on Minneapolis, but focus on like other communities in Minneapolis and get kids and families involved in the climate justice movement, because in most cases, a lot of big like things that are happening in Black and brown communities and they don't know. So I want to be that person for them to help them understand and help them get out of the food deserts and out of the climate crisis that we're in.
Thank you all for sharing with us. You're creating your story, you're changing the story of your community, and thank you for including us in that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beth, I
Oh my
think
gosh.
we're ready to kick it
Yeah.
over to you.
I'm just really excited and just amazed by what we've seen tonight and what we've heard from those young people. My name is Beth Carreño, and I